Rotation and revolution. Did you know that the Earth is always in motion? We don't see or feel it moving. That's because everything on Earth is moving with us. Think of riding in a car down a highway. Pretend you're sitting very still. You don't feel like you're moving. You don't seem to be moving, but you're moving at 50 miles per hour down the highway. Traveling on the Earth is like that. Let's look at the Earth's movement. First, the Earth is always moving around the Sun. The Sun is the center of the solar system. The Earth and all other planets orbit it. We call this a fixed orbit. It always stays the same. We say that the Earth revolves around the Sun. It constantly goes around it. It never stops. We call this the Earth's revolution. How long does it take the Earth to complete one revolution around the Sun? It takes about 365 days. We call this time 1 year. Other planets have longer or shorter years. Mercury has a very short year. It takes only 88 days to go around the Sun once. But a year on Neptune takes around 60,000 days. What's another way the Earth moves? The Earth also spins around. It rotates. We call this the Earth's rotation. Have you ever watched a top spin around? The Earth does the same thing. The Earth's rotation is very important to us. Have you ever wondered why we have days and nights? Why does the sun seem to come up in the morning? Why does it seem to go down at night? Days and nights happen because of the Earth's rotation. The Earth spins around from west to east. As it spins, one side of it faces the sun. The other side faces away from the sun. When we're facing the sun, we have light. We call it day. When we face away from the sun, we don't have the sun's light. We call it night. It takes 24 hours for the Earth to rotate once. We call this 1 day. In the morning, the sun looks like it's rising in the east. Our side of the Earth is turning towards it. We are coming into the sun's light. In the evening, it looks like the sun is setting in the west. Our side of the Earth is turning away from the sun. Night is coming. What is happening on the other side of the world when we have day? That's right, the other side of the world is having night. When we have night, they have day. There's more to learn about the Earth's rotation. We say the Earth rotates on its axis. The axis is an imaginary line that goes through the middle of the Earth. It helps us understand how the Earth spins. The axis is not straight up and down. The Earth tilts a little as it spins. This tilting is very important. It's the reason we have seasons. We can think of the Earth as being in two parts, the top part and the bottom part. These are called hemispheres. The top of the Earth is called the northern hemisphere. The lower half is called the southern hemisphere. Sometimes the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, and sometimes it is tilted away from the sun. In January, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, so it doesn't get much of the sun's light. The southern hemisphere gets more sunlight. So the southern hemisphere has summer while the northern hemisphere has winter. The southern hemisphere has longer days. The northern hemisphere has shorter days. The North Pole is now in darkness for 6 months because it is tilted away from the sun. And the South Pole has 6 months of day because it is always tilted towards the sun. In June, the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun. It gets more direct sunlight. It's summertime in the northern hemisphere. What season is it in the southern hemisphere? That's right, winter. Now the southern hemisphere gets shorter days. The northern hemisphere gets the longer ones. The poles are now in opposite positions to where they were in January, with the North Pole having 6 months of day and the South Pole 6 months of night. In March and September, the sun is facing right at the middle of the earth. The rays of the sun hit the northern and southern hemispheres equally. Days and nights are about equal in length. It's not hot like summer. It's not cold like winter. We have spring and fall. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. They all depend on the sun and the tilt of the earth. What is your favorite season? Remember, the movement of the earth does many things. It helps us measure time. It gives us years and days. It gives us daytime to play in and nighttime to sleep in. It gives us winter, spring, summer, and fall. The movement of the earth is very important. Let us now summarize what we have learned.
Year 5. Here again we start that slide because this paper is not completed in the previous two slides. So let's start. Here is the center line is called the equator of the earth. The upper part, that point in which we have from the equator to the above the equator is called the north hemisphere or north pole. And the down part, which is from equator to south, is called the south hemisphere or south pole. So we divide earth into a two part, that is the north pole, and the downwards are the south pole. So in this picture they ask which hemisphere is having summer. That the part which is tilted towards the sun, this part is called the summer. So right now it's the northern hemisphere here. So the north pole or the northern hemisphere. Explain your answer because here they are freezing the sunlight and the length of the day is more than the length of the night. So here the estimate length of the day experienced by people living at X here at this point. Here just think about this. This is exactly the half of that time. So the day and night is equal to the 24 hours. But if it is half of it, the exactly half of the day, so it is about 12 hours. So the day length is 12 hours. And the time of the sunrise and the sunset, sunrise is about 6 a.m. to the sunset is 18 p.m. So the total length, if we take the difference of the sunset and the sunrise, then is equal to 12 hours. Now they are talking about this point. If you are living here, so did you take the coat? You need coat? Yes. Why? Because you experience here is the day length is shorter and the night is longer. So if we explain, we are giving here the answer yes. Why? Because the day is shorter than the night. The length of the day is shorter than the night. Night is bigger here. So which month of the year does this diagram represent? In your book also, when you saw the picture, there is a picture in which when the North Pole is tilted towards the sun, so it means it's summer. It shows the summer and the month of the summer is June. So please write your own answer and then go and check in the next slide in the presentation. And also you can check the answer of the assessment when you move the slides, so you'll get the answers there. Thank you so much.